Donald Trump just signed executive orders that try to make burning the American flag illegal and to end cashless bail in Washington, D.C. But the problem is the same thing that consistently bogs down this administration. Both of these things run headfirst into the Constitution.
A wise guy, eh?
Salutations, fellow nerds. I'm Rick Y, and today is August 25th, 2025. I didn't think we'd explaining the simplest of constitutional terms today, but since apparently many people either have short memories or only started paying attention 5 minutes ago, here we are on this lovely autocratic Monday morning. So as not to lose our most critical of thinkers right out of the gate, let's start with the lowest hanging fruit, burning the American flag. Look, whether you like it or not, personally, it is constitutionally protected expression. The Supreme Court said so in Texas v. Johnson in 1989 and U.S. v. Eichmann in 1990. Even conservative Justice Antonin Scalia sided with the majority. That's how bedrock the First Amendment is here. So if it's ruffling the jimmies of nationalists, congratulations, that's the point. They're trying to provoke, and if you get upset, you're playing right into it. Patriotism isn't the flex that you think when you're proving their point for them. For history's sake, the First Amendment was adopted on December 15th, 1791 as part of the Bill of Rights. It was written to protect freedoms like speech, press, religion, assembly, and petition, basically to stop the new U.S. government from repeating British abuses like censorship and punishment for dissent. So yeah, good luck relitigating flag burning. The precedent has been in place for over 30 years. If this court suddenly flips, then we're not just talking about flags, we're talking about a court that can flip on anything. Now to the more complicated one with lots of words. This executive order targets cashless bail in places like DC by threatening to pull federal funding. In other words, it's pushing the system back toward cash bail, and that's where this becomes less about public safety and more about punishing poverty. And if you haven't been arrested any time in the past, let me fill you in. Here's how it works. You're arrested, booked, and sit in jail. Then, within 24 to 48 hours, longer if it's a weekend, you go to arraignment. The judge reads your charges, takes your plea, and decides on release conditions, sometimes setting a cash bail amount. If you can pay, you walk out. If you can't, you sit your ass in jail, sometimes weeks or months before your trial, even if you're innocent. Just for sake of argument, let's try and at least steelman the opposition. Critics of cashless bail say that bail is a safety filter. Without it, dangerous people can walk. Bail is an accountability tool. Money on the line keeps people coming back to court. Bail is a deterrent. The threat of paying keeps crime in check. And when someone released without bail reoffends, it makes the system look soft on crime. That's the argument in its strongest form. But here's the truth. Judges can and do deny bail entirely for people who are genuinely dangerous to their community. Cashless bail doesn't mean everyone gets out. It means money isn't the deciding factor. Studies from places like New Jersey, which ended cash bail in 2017, show court appearance rates stayed at around 90% or better, and crime didn't spike. Tools like check-ins, text reminders, and ankle monitors are more effective than hoping someone cares about losing bail money. And let's be real. Nobody weighs the bail schedule before committing a crime. Crime happens because of poverty, addiction, or circumstance, not because bail is 500 versus 5,000. Now let's look at a real-world scenario that happens on a daily basis in courts and judicial systems across the country every day. This is Marcus. He's accused of stealing $40 of groceries at Walmart. He didn't do it, but bail was set at $1,000. He and his wife can't pay. On days 1 to 3, Marcus is stuck in jail. He misses shifts. He gets fired. Day 7, rent is due. His landlord threatens eviction. Car payment goes unpaid. By day 14, he takes a plea deal just to get out, even though he's not guilty. He's lost his job, his stability, and maybe his future. Now meet Connor. He plows his dad's Tesla into a sign while drunk. Bail is set at $10,000. On that very same night, his parents post bail with a credit card. Connor is home before midnight. Day 1, Connor is back at school or work. His lawyer is already working angles to reduce the charges. And by day 30, life goes on. For Connor, bail was just a hiccup. Marcus, however, was accused but innocent. He still lost everything because he was poor. Connor was guilty of endangering lives and walked away because he was rich. Cash bail doesn't protect the public. It protects the privileged. Trump's new executive orders aren't about safety. They're about symbolism and scapegoats. You don't fix crime by punishing poverty, and you don't strengthen America by shredding the First Amendment. What's being ushered in is the embrace of a new gilded age, one where the working poor are ground down while the rich and privileged skate. And notice how he's doing it too, not through Congress, not even letting his own party take votes, but by executive fiat, the exact same backdoor he uses for all of his least popular proposals. And now, as he sends U.S. forces into the streets against civilians and edges closer to soft martial law in our capital, his administration is tightening the screws on the poor while stripping away constitutionally protected rights. So I gotta ask, where are all the small government anti-tyranny conservatives? All that tough talk for decades. And the moment it's their guy in the office doing the very thing they warned about, they're cheering the tanks rolling down Pennsylvania Avenue. Why? Because abortion. Because trans people. That's the trade-off. That's the line. The capitulation speaks volumes. Anyway, if you enjoyed the content, hit the like and subscribe button and share it around. And remember, Trump is in the Epstein files, free Luigi, and y'all come back now. You hear?